Daf Lamed Hayam and Aleph, right at the top of the Yomid. Zok the Gemara, my Parva. We learned in the Mishnah that they brought the Kohen Gadol to the base of Parva, and they brought him over there, and they brought him to do the tefillah. What is the Parva? Why is it called Parva? My Parva. Amar Rav Yosef, Parva Amgusha. Parva was a Magusha, someone who was a Machashev. He was engaged in sorcery. So it was Rashi says he built it, and his name was Parva, and that's why it was called base of Parva. The Miri says that it has to be talking where he was Chayzer b'tshuva, because otherwise they wouldn't have named it a base of Parva after a Machashev, a practicing Machashev. Tosfos brings down the Oroch, and he says that this person Parva, he dug a tunnel underneath the floor of the Zorah, because he wanted to see how the Kohen Gadol did the Avodah, and the Kohanim found out about it. They saw he dug a tunnel and then was able to look up to see how the Kohen Gadol was doing the Avodah Yom Kippurim. So they called the Lishka on his name after his name. So the Mishnah said, Parsus San Shalbut, they spread a linen sheet between him and the people for tznias, and then he did Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim, he was Toivel. Maishna Shalbut, why is the sheet made dafka out of linen? It was only a sheet that was made for tznias. It could have been made out of anything. Why dafka linen? Why dafka that material? As a reminder that the Avodas Hayom, the special Avodah of Yom Kippurim, have to be done with the big day lov and not with the big day zahav, and therefore as a reminder that the Avodah of Yom Kippur is done with linen clothing. So it says in the morning it was a Shemona Aser mana, and in the afternoon it was 12, a sum total of 30 mana. So the Gemara of Tana Minyan also Lashmin is a Tana coming to tell us the arithmetic over here, the math, that it's a total of 30. We know how to add. So more answers. Hakamashlan the Motzimahane loy navid means to tell you that it has a minimum. It has to have a minimum of 30 mana. That's the minimum value of it, and you can't make less than that. But but if he makes the morning one less and the evening one worth more, less lanba, that it's telling you that this is the total. This is the total, and therefore they divided it up into 18 and 12, but it did not have to be precise. If he made it a little bit less in the morning and more in the afternoon, it still would be kosher. As long as we'll see shortly, as long as the clothes in the morning is worth more than the afternoon. So it says the total of 30 mana to teach you that what is the ma'akiv is the total of 30. It doesn't necessarily have to be 18 and 12. But it does matter, it does make a difference that the morning is worth more, as we'll see. It says the Kuli Alma means, however, everybody holds the Shachar Adif, that the morning clothing has to be worth more. Minolan, where do we know this from? Amar Ravun Bereder of Eloi, the Pasuk says, Amar Kra, bad. It says it 4 times to teach us Muvchar Bebad. It tells you that it's used, that it's the best, the choicest linen is used for the clothing. So the Pasuk says, so it says that 4 times, that bad. So therefore, it's coming to teach you that, and this is talking about the wearing of the morning clothing in the morning, to teach you that it has to be muvchar shabbat. The choice is the best quality. So it learns it in a more precise manner, not just that the repetition tells you that the choice we darshan each one. So Tosfos said chala gufa is to teach you that it has to be made of linen. So it's chala gufa, and chad is the levad. Bad is Lashon Levad, alone, that he wears these clothing, but not the big day zav. It's only these clothing, only the big day lov, but not the big day zav with him. And the third one is to tell you that it's to teach you that it's Yoser Toiv Mibad Shel Shayim Shana. It has to be worth more than the linen that's used during the rest of the year. On Yom Kippur, it has to be a higher value than the rest of the year. And the fourth one is that it's a better quality than the one that's in the evening. So that's how we know that the shachar is better. May still ask you a question. The pasuk in Yecheskel says that they wear begonim acherim. Rashi points out, explains that we're talking about the clothing that they're wearing, the clothing Yom Kippur, because it says that they should not wear woolen clothing. The clothing of the Kohen Gadol during the rest of the year had wool in it, and the me'il was wool. The Choshen Ephod had wool in it, so it must be talking about the begonim of Yom Kippur. Now it says v'lo begonim acherim. They wear different clothing in the afternoon than they wear in the morning. Meaning, in the afternoon, they did the removal, the avoid of removing the kaf machta, and it was done with the big day lovin. So their acherim, they're different than the clothing that they wore in the morning, where they did the avoid of Yom Kippur. It says, they should not mikadosh the people with their clothing, meaning, when they're finished the avoid and they mingle with the people, they should not be wearing the big day kodesh, they should be wearing big day chol. But al kol panim, it says, v'lov shebegodim acherim. So it refers to the afternoon clothing as acherim, different from the morning. My love acherim chashuv mehem. So since it's saying that they're different, it makes a point that they're saying that it's different. My love that they're chashuvim, they're worth more. More says loy acherim chusim mehem. It means that they're worth less. It means they're worth less, meaning because in the morning the clothing was done to do the kapara, the avoid of the kapara of Yom Kippur, the par of the soyer, etc., the avoid of the kapara. And the burning of the ketayers in the afternoon, it was only the removal of the kaf machta. So it was a lesser darga, so therefore the clothing were worth less. Tani Rav Huna bar Yehuda v'amr Rav Shmuel bar Yehuda achar shekalsa avodas tzibur, after the avodas tzibur was finished, meaning after the avodas haboker, the avodas of Yom Kippur was finished, Kohen the Kohen whose mother made from a ketainas, he could use it, wear it, and use the avodas yachid, the removal of the kaf machta. It's called an avodas yachid because it was only to the removal of the kelim. It was not a kapara. They can use it and to wear it for the avodas yachid. But it has to be donated, transferred over to the tzibur. It has to become, this is an avodas of tzibur. It was part of the avoid of Yom Kippur, so it had to be given over to the tzibur. So pshita, so the Gemara says pashat. Well, pashat is not the case. If he gives it over to the tzibur, then why should it not be used? Why should he not be able to use it? The Gemara says, "Mao the same in because you might think that they were concerned that they won't donate it wholeheartedly, and it won't therefore become really the property of the tzibur." Mashmalan, that we're not concerned about it, and therefore we assume that there was a wholehearted donation, and therefore it can be used. So therefore, one could say that if we're not concerned and it's donated wholeheartedly, one could say, well, therefore it should be able to be used for any avodah, even for an avodah in the morning, if it was donated to the tzibur and it was made by the Kohen's mother or whoever, then it could be used, and that's how it's mashma from the Rambam. But the Taisus Yishanim, Taisus Rosh said, no, it's Davka, as the Lashon Gemara's mashma, that it's V'loisha v'ovid v'avodas yachid. It's only for the avodas yachid, only for the Eitzah's kaf machta, but not for the avodas hayoim. Amru alav al Rabbi Yishmael ben Pavi. They said about Rabbi Yishmael ben Pavi was a Kohen Golish, also like Imay Ketayna Shel Mea Mona, that his mother made him a Ketayna was worth 100 mona. And he used it for the avodas yachid. He used it for the removal of the kaf machta. But before he wore it, before he used it, it was transferred to the tzibur. It was donated to the tzibur. His mother made a ketainas from with 20,000 mana. 20,000 mana, unbelievable amount. But the Kahanim, his brothers, the Kahanim, did not allow him to wear it. Why is that? Because since it was such fine quality, it was woven and from in such an expert way, and from such high quality linen, therefore it looked like he was not wearing any clothing. It was transparent, and you could see through it. So therefore, they did not allow him to wear it. Is it true? It could really be that you could see through it. I va'omer mar chutin kofel shisha. They had 6 strands. Each thread of the garment that was made out of had six threads. So it was very thick. So how could you say that you could see through it? Omer Abaye says, "Bechamra kechamra b'mezika." It is the same as an analogy. It would be similar to a moshel like wine in a glass cup. If you can have a glass cup that's very thick, the glass is very thick, but it's glass. It's transparent. You can see through it. Here, so too, even though the threads it was sixfold, even though there were 6 strands, and it was the fabric was thick, but it was such high quality. It was like looking through a thick piece of glass, and you could see the wine inside. Here also, he was near Orim, and therefore they did not let him wear it.